Content warning for today's show. This episode will be the first to be, family friendly. Proceed at your own risk. Welcome to Gimcrack Video. How may I help you?
Hey, what's going on, man? You got anything new to watch?
No, but we are running a special on sequels.
Is that over there on that shelf that says that it's not for human consumption?
No, on the one right next to it, it says 3 for $1.
Oh, let's just grab some. What could go wrong?
Enjoy your selection.
We're already more professional than the Fred movie.
This is probably true. All right, so let's get this party started here.
Do you know they changed the lyrics to "Let's Get It Started in Here" on all of the digital releases?
Really? Oh, yes. Yeah, it was something else.
Yeah, it's probably a positive change, but
it's not bad. It's not a bad change. I think it's a good reason to change it.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Yeah. So talking about changing media that should have been lost to time. Can we just find every copy of the movie we reviewed this week and delete it?
Yeah, that would be lovely. But yeah.
Why did you pick Fred 3?
Well,
Did you like this movie?
No, I didn't, Patrick. And you know what? This whole like let's only watch part 3 movie idea is not fun anymore.
I can't disagree. This was this was a lot. How would you even describe this movie?
God, I don't know. It's a camp movie, I guess. I don't know.
I would say it's not. Is it campy? It doesn't feel very campy.
It could be campier.
It could be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
say that it wasn't.
this is the Found on Shelf podcast. Insert call to action here, or whatever. I'm just exhausted. I don't care anymore, Patrick. I just don't. So what happened when you came up with this idea to pick only part 3 movies? I was telling my daughter about it, and I said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna watch all part 3 movies." And she basically said something about like, "Oh, you have to watch Fred 3 then."
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe she said it was terrible. So I figured it's summer, and Fred 3 takes part at a summer camp. So why not? How bad could it be?
That would be like Oppenheimer saying, "Push the button. How bad could it be?"
Yeah, So I watched the movie with her, so I could kind of maybe try to get it from like a kid's perspective or a kid's point of view in case I missed something on there.
Of course.
But yeah. Anyway, I thought the movie was probably the worst piece of. Hold on. What? I'm recording.
About this movie too. I watched it with you.
You really want to talk about it?
Sure.
All right, come on over here. You're just here. Okay, Patrick. We got ourselves a third micer on this episode. My daughter Lyra has decided to join us and talk about the show, or talk about the movie on our show here.
Hi, Lyra.
Hi.
So Patrick, are you familiar with Fred?
Yes, I am aware of Fred. I am aware that Fred was a bit of an internet sensation. And then he had a series of movies and crossovers with questionable Nickelodeon shows, and then had his own Nickelodeon show that was short-lived. And then I assume he still exists in the ether. I didn't realize there were 3 whole entire Fred movies. So this was eye-opening.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna go with that one.
Yeah, so yeah, Fred he started by making these little like YouTube videos with his cousins. It's the kind of videos that you and some friends would make that probably never go anywhere, but for some reason it took off.
It was YouTube pre 2008.
Yeah, his first one was uploaded 2006, oddly enough. But he started his own Fred channel in April of 2008, and by 2009, it ended up being the first YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, if you go back and look at the Fred Goes Swimming video, which I watched 5 minutes ago to prepare,
Why?
it has 79 million views.
Yeah, like who's what? Like, and most of these videos were all under 4 minutes. Most of them were like around 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, which begs the question: who saw this and thought long form content is the appropriate transition? Like the vehicle for Fred is a motion picture, because the vehicle for Fred is clearly interlinked shorts in a 30-minute series, and you break it down to like 5 or 6 shorts.
Yeah,
and there you go.
Yeah.
But no, they said whole motion picture, and that formula was popular enough to spawn 2 sequels.
Yeah, because the movies came before the TV show, which was interesting. And he was so popular. He had product placement. He had advertisers on his channel. Actually, I think the first time I actually saw him was on this show called iCarly, which my daughter would like to watch sometimes. So yeah, iCarly's about like a girl that does a TV show, and they have a beef with Fred.
Yeah, I read Jeanette's book.
Oh yeah. Jeanette was also in the first Fred movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she played. She was Bertha in the first movie, which is now played by some other lady who is on. Was on this another kids show called Victorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna educate you about children's television today, Patrick.
Well, I can tell you where they came from or where they wound up, because Victoria Justice winds up doing the remake of Rocky Horror that Fox tried to do in, was it 2016, 2017?
The live TV show one?
Yeah, I think it's called Let's Do the Time Warp Again. Well, that was the problem. Is they filmed it like a live TV show, but it was the only one of those they didn't film live, which they should have done.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It is weird, right?
Yeah. So let's see. So I'll give you a little back history, because I'm sure that you need to know the lore of Fred.
Sure. Yeah. This feels like a lore dump episode. Like, you know, who am I to criticize
exactly
short form content for deciding that it needs to have lore? I feel like I would be standing. I don't really have a leg to stand on there.
Yeah. So, all right. So the first Fred the movie was supposed to be released in theaters, but then they decided to put it on Nickelodeon instead.
That was a smarter move.
It was
exactly.
Yeah. It was basically Fred having a crush on a girl who moves away, and then he stalks her and whatever.
Oh.
So the fun thing is, I was literally before this, like for the last 10 minutes, I was watching Lucas rewatching that first movie, and that's as far as I got. It's as far as I got. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched that too. That was funny. Anyway, the first movie is sitting at a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I took a note down. Actually, Lyra, why don't you read this line to Patrick here? This is what one of the reviewers had to say.
This was one of my least favorite viewing experience of the year long with a Siberian film.
Oh no,
Serbian film.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, this was one of my least favorite viewing experiences of the year, along with a Serbian film. That's the level that Fred the movie was.
I need a moment.
That's just sad.
Yes, you are right.
And then, most people were like, Fred was funny in 3-minute chunks, and he shouldn't be a movie. So, of course, they make a sequel. Did you ever watch the sequel, Lyra?
I don't think so, but I don't want to.
I don't blame you. I don't want to watch it either. It was called Fred 2 Night of the Living Fred. He's got a new crush, and it's like, oh, I think my teacher's a vampire because he doesn't eat garlic and whatever, all sorts of stuff. And then it turns out at the end that he's not a vampire. And then it's like, oh, wait, you can't see his picture in the mirror. So maybe he is the whole time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of unoriginal ideas.
Okay.
So that movie was horrible, and the executives decided, let's give him a TV show and another movie.
Great.
And
I'm just gonna clip that soundbite for everything we do in the show.
oh, great. The TV show was canceled after one season due to low ratings and poor reviews. And Lucas tried to make a comeback in 2020 by starting up a TikTok channel for Fred. And it was just basically him lip syncing over other clips. He got 10 videos posted and then just quit. Fred was dead after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does appear to be blogging mostly as himself. The most recent video I found, he was dressed up as a Hooters girl, and they were eating all of the wings.
Sweet.
Mhm.
I like wings.
You're going in a different creative direction, I feel like, but yeah,
Yeah, you know.
you gotta diversify at a certain point.
So that is that, and now that brings us to where we're at with the elevator pitch with this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going first?
Patrick, do you want to go first?
Okay,
All right, you can hear Patrick's pitch, and then you can try your little elevator pitch afterwards.
Okay.
All right.
here we go. Fred 3. So I don't know. This is a tough one. Dustin. This movie almost broke me.
It's even
in some
tougher because we
strange
got to make it. We got to make it kind of a PG. This is our first PG episode, or maybe it's G. I don't know.
Yeah,
it might be PG.
Okay, how do I describe Fred 3 in a way that is not morally objectionable to anyone listening? Let me think. Okay, Fred 3 is this. Fred is an internet entertainer. Fred 3 is, what if Bo Burnham was annoying instead of funny?
Okay. All right.
That's the whole vibe, really.
Yeah. And it's just like rehashing old things over and over again. Lyra, do you have a elevator pitch for this movie?
Probably it's trying to be a kid-friendly comedy. It is a kid-friendly comedy. I just don't get the backwards R.
Not a fan of the backwards R.
Oh,
No.
secretly,
Alright.
Fred's a Russian sleeper cell.
Ooh. Well, I you know what? Like always, Patrick, I have the trailer for you.
Oh.
Let's listen to the beautiful sounds of the Fred trailer.
There's nothing like the joy of summer camp. The fun. The friends. The Fred.
My God.
Hey, what's up?
Fred is back in an all-new movie.
Every summer, we compete in the summer camp games. Every year, Camp Superior has taken home the trophy.
It's the Camp Champs
Guten Tag, George Snorkel.
versus the Camp And if Fred Figglehorn has his say,
I will beat Camp Superior.
the underdogs will have their day.
Time for the losers down the spotlight for one.
Now,
It's Fred, the one that would lead this camp to victory.
join the greatest battle ever waged for the greatest summer of all time. Fred 3, Camp Fred, the movie. Look for it on DVD and digital download.
No.
I don't think no one's gonna look at it for digital download.
You don't think people would
No.
want to?
And was that a burp at the end?
That was a burp. Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
Fred did say it was the second funniest sound the human body could make. That's a direct quote.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
That's a direct quote. Oh boy.
What's the first?
The first is probably a fart.
Oh.
I mean, is he wrong?
We have to have her on more episodes.
So, all right. What do you got? Shall we go beat by beat on this bad boy here?
Yeah.
Sure. Why don't y'all take point, and I will. I'll see what I can add to it.
Chip in. Yeah. So Fred likes songs.
Okay, I will add here. His shoes were great, and I would wear them.
Okay. That's the one thing that you would not change about this movie. Is the
The sequin shoes, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we start off with the musical number.
Today is my favorite day. It's the best in every way. So much more than just okay. It's a very, 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 very good day.
I wanted it to stop at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
This-
that's 50 seconds into the movie.
Listen,
and-
I watch a lot. I watch a lot of musicals. And I never thought that I'd get to a point where I thought, I miss Rick Moranis in Little Shop.
yeah,
The singing in this is,
yeah, it's wonderful, right? I mean, you didn't like the musical number? Ooh, should I save this for musical November?
Oh no.
We can watch it again if you want.
yeah. So there's a thing that happens called a stroke, and I think that would be a cause of a medical emergency. It'd be exposure to Fred 3. Like repeated exposure to Fred 3 seems like it would be detrimental to my health overall.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's maybe we'll shelf Fred for a while,
Yeah.
or forever.
Mhm.
Like
Well,
he
we did
did.
find it on the shelf.
Yeah. So, he's singing his musical number. His mom pops in, and she's got kind of a weird voice too, but different than
Yeah.
his weird voice.
Yeah, way different,
Yeah.
but still bad.
Right. And then it turns out it was all in his head.
Yeah. It's all in his head.
It was a dream. It was like he's dreaming of this wonderful good day.
Yeah.
Now I'm confused, Patrick.
I'm familiar with that.
Which part? You're So I thought, did you want to read the part or
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought he was supposed to be playing a little kid. In one of his earlier videos, he says something about being 6 years old, but now he's just in high school with a weird voice.
Okay, yeah, this actually was something that drove me nuts too, because I thought that was also part of the gimmick, is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Fred character is like a 6-year-old, but clearly not.
Yeah, and when he does he did like the Mayday episode or something like that, he says like, oh, if they gave me the YouTube channel 2 years ago, but that's weird because I would have been 4. So
Yeah.
he's saying he's 6, but I guess for the movies they decided,
To make him a high schooler, which is really weird.
which is a really weird voice.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole point of that little high pitched voice, was the fact that he was 6 years old.
Well, I don't even think a 6-year-old would have that voice.
So maybe not.
Probably just a chipmunk. As a matter of fact, I could watch the Chipmunk Adventure more often than I could watch Fred. Their voices are somehow less high pitched than this, or at least less irritating.
Yeah, definitely less irritating. And one thing I did find funny, I think, it was on that when Lucas was watching First Fred. He said he hasn't watched that since he filmed Fred 2 because the director said, you need to go back and watch this because you're not Fred enough.
You're not Fred enough.
You're not Fred enough.
Yeah, so he had to go back and watch the first Fred movie so he could decide how to be this character that he's been for a decade.
Like, what's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I think there's
Listen,
too much.
You
Fred.
need to fret up.
Yeah, Fred up, man.
Fret up or shut up.
Yeah, and then he's packing his suitcase. Oh, he walks down the street with his girl Bertha. That was the girl that was in Victorious.
Yeah.
That was originally what's her face,
sister.
McCurdy, whatever her name
Jeanette
is.
McCurdy.
Yes, that was the role that Jeanette was originally.
Oh, well, she definitely had like 2000s era kids show fashion going on.
Absolutely. Oh, so yeah, and then he's all psyched up about going to Camp Superior.
Yeah, Camp Superior.
Is where he thinks he's gonna go, but then his mom has, what does his mom say instead?
His cheat mom sends him to camp I Want a Pee-Pee, and he throws a fit.
Camp I Want a Pee-Pee.
And that's kind of a hint on what her accent sounds like.
Camp I Want a Pee-Pee.
What is
and for the listening public, have you ever seen Men in Black? This is Edgar's wife.
Yeah, it's not Edgar. It was an Edgar suit. She does kind of talk weird in that movie too. Does she just have an accent? I don't know.
Well, I think she has the accent, but she really forces it on this one.
Camp I Want a Pee-Pee.
Yeah. And then he throws a fit, but they get dragged off. It's like the same camp movies that they've been making since the 80s.
Well, yeah, because it's got the same thing as Heavyweights. It's the same thing as Meatballs. It's the same thing. All of these camp movies do basically the same thing, which is well, some of them have the I want to go to the better camp, but I wind up at the cheap camp. But all of them have the rich camp versus poor camp competition at the end.
Yeah.
Which I've been to a camp when I was a kid, and we never had competitions with other camps.
No, but on a lot of the kids' movies.
Yeah, it's just something that they all do.
It is kind of weird that is a kids movie trope because it does not happen.
No, but yeah, so he goes to this camp, and Tom Arnold is the
Man in charge.
is the man in charge.
I want a pee-pee on you. I want a pee-pee on you. I want a pee-pee on all of you.
Apparently, that's what they say.
That old gag, just runs it into the ground.
When is the last time you've seen Tom Arnold in a movie?
It has been a while.
Yeah, this is a weird. Oh, you know what? He was in a movie that this same year. Never mind. But yeah, it's been a minute. It's like you don't really see him pop up too much.
No. Do you know what Tom Arnold's very first movie that he was in?
Tom Arnold's first movie?
Yeah.
I do not know.
I want a pee-pee on you. I want a pee-pee on you.
No, it wasn't that. It was in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare.
Oh, the one where him and Roseanne have a cameo?
Yes.
At the beginning?
Yes.
By the way, that's a horrible scene shoved into the middle of a horrible movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was bad. That was very, very bad. So he does that, and then it's like what, a freight train from that to the Stupids?
There was other things involved. He's done a lot of stuff. I mean, I think most people know Tom Arnold. Yeah, Roseanne Barr's ex. So anyway, back to getting on this train.
Mm-hmm.
We're here at
Camp I want a pee-pee.
Yeah.
and they serve. Oh, of course, because what every summer camp do.
They serve gruel, and gluten-free gruel. So many options.
And I think there was a joke about bug juice too.
Oh yeah.
And diet bug juice.
Oh, and diet.
Hey, only half the calories.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the all-in-one guy who's the bus driver, the cook, the counselor, everything else. He's everything except for the nurse who is Oksana,
Yeah.
the nurse that all the guys are attracted to there. And it's just, yeah, it's you've got the assortment of friends,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
that's pretty generic.
Uh-huh.
It does try to be a little subversive here. So you've got the kid that digs holes.
Yes.
You've got
What should we name him?
Mhm.
Dig.
Dig,
Yeah, we'll just name
yeah.
him Dig. Okay.
and then we have the glasses kid is supposed to be the smart kid.
Yeah. You got the nerdy kid,
Nerdy kid. Yeah, what was his name?
Magoo.
Magoo,
Yes.
right? Gets the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets subversive. A lot of these older shows did this thing where they'll have a larger kid character, and then his whole character trait is that he eats.
Yes.
And they have that character. There's a bigger kid there, but his character trait is not that he eats. There's another character, and her character trait is that she eats, and her name is Spoon.
Yes.
So this
And
is as subversive
this-
as it gets.
This the larger kid, his name is Chatter because he never talks.
Now, this is still better than the naming conventions in Monster Squad.
Don't you ever bring down Monster Squad? Are you talking bad about Monster Squad?
No, Monster Squad is fantastic. I'm just saying they named the fat kid Fat Kid.
Yeah.
As the credited role on the credits. Fat Kid.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just wanted to get right to the point. They're like, let's just not pretend what we're anything else. But yeah, so that's the group of loser friends of your typical, at the loser camp. So that's what you got there. And then of course they start talking about the camp games that nobody has competitions like. And then we've got we've got your Scary Gary.
Yeah.
So Scary is the cookie character in this film.
Oh, I'm Cookie, the camp cook and the chief bottle washer around here. If you follow me, I'll show you where you can stow your gear.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this guy because you're familiar with this guy. I'm sure you are in a few things.
Is it because he's scary?
Yes, he's scary and he's Gary, and his name is Tracy Walter.
Tracy Walter.
He's in a bunch of stuff. Repo Man.
Okay.
You've seen Repo Man, right? I'm sure you have.
Weirdly, no, but I
What?
should have.
Oh.
I know. I know. Me saying that is like throwing the gauntlet down. But yeah, I should have seen it.
It's hilarious because as I was writing that, I was like, God, I wonder if he's ever actually seen this. Anyway, he was in that movie. It was a pretty important character. as a mechanic, and I won't say anything else because you've never seen it. I don't want to give spoilers to a movie that's 40 years old.
What we do here on the show.
What about Conan the Destroyer?
Of course, yes.
He was his like kind of thief and companion, Malak.
Okay.
In that, in Batman 1989, he was Bob the Goon, which was the Joker's like right hand man.
Okay.
He was in Hunter, Airwolf, and 2 episodes of Alf.
What?
Yeah, and do you recall City Slickers?
Yeah, but I recall I'm more familiar with the second one than the first one.
So in the first one, in City Slickers, they basically go out to a ranch, and he plays the cook at the ranch.
Yeah.
And his name is Cookie. It comes around full circle.
I'm going to snap under the mental load of that.
The Cookie-ish character played Cookie in a different movie.
All roads lead to Cookie.
Yes, exactly. Are we talking about the Christmas cookie or the other one?
I don't know. I need to make a video, A Tale of Two Cookies.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be good.
It was the best of films. It was the worst of films.
Oh, yeah. No, this is the worst of films, and it was the worst of films. Anywho, back to our fine film here. They go to the cabin. The cabin, of course, is junky and all falling apart and broken. And
Cabin 13.
Yeah, it's cabin 13 because, unlucky number.
But it is particularly close to the only outhouse in the camp.
Yeah, which is weird. But and then he tries to break out of the cabin, and all of a sudden there's like snipers attacking him.
Yeah, but this was a dream, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the snipers were a dream. I think he dreams afterwards that he like was being eaten by the people at the camp. I swear that's how it went. And then when he woke up from that dream and he was talking to his mom in his normal voice.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up again because it was just a dream within a dream.
Yeah, the filmmakers had seen Inception at this point.
Yeah, well, they had seen a lot of movies, and they were just kind of riffing off of a bunch of different things. There was not really an original idea. Well, actually, this next scene might have been the only kind of original idea in there, and that was his dad.
Yeah.
John Cena. I'm assuming that John Cena was in the other movies.
Correct, and that is his imaginary father.
Yes.
John Cena does not really exist. He just stares into an empty fridge and thinks that he sees John Cena as his dad.
Yes.
I've long held the fact that I think John Cena doesn't really exist.
Well, that was his whole shtick, the whole "you can't see me" thing. So and he's been his imaginary dad
since the first movie.
Yeah. So if you want to go back and watch the first one, go for it.
First and second.
I'm not entirely sure I have the fortitude for that, but I like that you think that I do.
I think you could deal with that. Yeah, and then we get random scenes flashing back to his mom getting a massage from the pizza boy.
Yeah.
Which is
does seem to be referencing some things.
Yeah, I think so.
Camp, I want a pee-pee.
Wait, which one?
Yeah. And Fred is crying. He wipes his tears with poison ivy as the friends walk around talking about the rat hole. Fred eventually goes to the nurse who gives him toothpaste for his IV, and this is still Oksana, and he gives him toothpaste for his poison ivy.
Yeah, because she's a terrible nurse.
Yeah, that's kind of her role.
She's an attractive woman and a terrible nurse, so all the boys want to go see her.
I think it's like Russian Blondie.
Yeah, Russian Blondie.
Yeah.
And then what else? We got the scary story by the campfire.
Always.
About the Crocabera moose.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Apparently they watch South Park as well, because I think this is just Man, Bear, Pig.
Yeah.
It is Man, Bear, Pig. You are correct.
Yeah. I was like, Man, Bear, Pig.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst creature design I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was probably where all the budget for this movie went. Were they expecting Crocabera Moose to have a spinoff?
Yeah.
I would have watched it. I actually think that the plot of the movie should have been about, from this moment on, should have been about trying to find and survive from the real Croc Bear Moose.
And you see, what's interesting is that there was another kids TV show about a camp. Was that Camp Kikiwaka or something?
I think it was there was Camp Kikiwaka and
And
I think it was
Bunked,
called
yeah.
Bunked.
Bunked was the camp, and it was like a Disney show.
Oh, I
And
remember
there was a-
Bunked commercialing. I don't know if I saw anything
Yeah,
about that,
and
but
there
I
was-
remember the logo.
And it was the Camp Kikiwaka.
And what
Bunked.
was that monster called?
Um,
They were looking for there. It was some monster in there too.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. They just recycle the same ideas over and
yeah.
over again.
That's annoying.
Yeah. Welcome to Hollywood.
Like an orange. Remember we should point out that Fred did do crossover work with the Annoying Orange, who was also an internet phenomenon that got his own short-lived, I think, Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, that was the stupidest thing.
It really was.
Anyway, we almost get to an interesting plot point in this movie.
Yes.
Almost. It's the old mistaken things for what they are and what they're not.
Yeah, so let's dig through this because the movie does a really interesting thing at the 40-minute mark. And so the first part of the first act is Fred is upset that he has gone to the wrong camp, and Ellie's in the wrong camp. He uncovers a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then so the mystery is he sees people putting mysterious blue pills in the gruel.
Yes.
He hears us talking about this place called the Rat Hole.
Yeah.
And he sees like suspicious behavior and people moving big bags of stuff in the middle of the night. So he's got this whole theory of malevolent shenanigans happening around him, and he's got to suss them out and try to figure out how to stop them. Right?
Yeah.
Stitching them all together.
Okay. But then he does that, and we figure out it's all a misunderstanding.
Like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Here's the problem here. At the 40-minute mark of this movie, the movie has been resolved.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's made peace with camp, and he's resolved his misunderstandings.
Yeah.
So there is no longer any movie to continue to happen.
They can just end it.
Yeah, but now we have to go into this.
My name is Fred, I'm sick in the head. Mess with me and you're gonna see red. F to the R to the E to the D. When you meet me, I think you're gonna pee your pants, that's it. I'm legit, yes, see, I'm Fred Figlehorn, damn it.
The fact that he always says gamut. With a G.
Yeah, apparently that's okay to say.
Yeah, you can say gamut all you want.
Hmm?
Hi, Gimcrack here with a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by earplugs. Yes, plain, ordinary earplugs. Do you have children? Do they watch TV shows with characters with pitched up voices? Personally, I'm against pitch correcting voices in post, but these shows do it all of the time. And if you need a break from the shrill, ice pick-like sounds of TV characters laughing and singing, try earplugs. Simply put them in your ears and tune out the high-pitched hijinks of Fred, or Alvin, or SpongeBob, or whatever it is kids are watching these days. Earplugs. Try them now.
But yeah, he eats poison berries, hallucinates, and starts rapping with the Crocabera Moose.
Yeah. And he's wearing these rings that say Fred.
Yeah, it's like they didn't know what to really. They didn't know which trope to really roll with, and so they just kind of threw them all and addressed them all in like 5-minute chunks, and then it's over.
It's really strange to have a rap break in the middle of a movie in 2014.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a fantastic rap.
My name is
You know,
Fred, I'm sick in the head.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
No.
And you could light up a stage and whack a chump like a candle to more acclaim.
Okay, so that whole plot point is gone, right?
Yes.
Much like Vanilla Ice's career. That's gone, and it's like, here's another plot point. Let's get rid of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then they talk about the summer camp games, and this is like where the arch nemesis, Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin, this guy has been in all of the movies, all the Fred movies so far. He was also on the TV show, and he was in Zombievers. I know that you've seen, as well as It Follows and It Chapter 2.
Yeah, It Follows is what I know him from. It took me a minute to figure out his face, and I'm like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah. He's dude from It Follows. So he had, but apparently, I mean, he was committed to this Fred franchise. He was, yeah. Other people like just abandoned ship when they saw where it was going, but not him. He stuck with it.
He's like, no, I can see the potential in Fred.
Yeah.
Fred will be a classic for the ages. People will watch Fred with their children. And to an extent, he was right here.
He was. Yeah.
Here we are.
I watched it with my child, and we're talking about it. So let's.
I said never said he was going to end up on a podcast for horrible movies.
Well, it's a horrible podcast about mediocre movies.
No,
it's a bad podcast about films so bad they may not be considered movies.
Yeah, I forget the exact word that my wife said. I should have written it down, but she was basically saying that the movie's not bad enough to be bad, and it's not like bad enough to be so good it's bad. It's just there, and it just exists, and it's just I forget something about just as universsul mediocrity that it just exists in.
Yeah, she's right. That's that's like the cardinal sin that these movies get into sometimes, is that they're too bad to be good, but they're not bad enough to be like bad to be good. They're just like she says, mediocre. They just exist. They're just there, taking up space.
Yeah.
And in a sense, it's hard to find something productive to say about a lot of those movies. However, luckily for us, there's a lot to talk about with Fred.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got 6 pages of notes about Fred. So,
oh boy.
Yeah.
I probably have like 10.
Yeah. So we've got now we got to get to the competition.
Yes.
And for some reason, Tom Arnold has all these allergies. Like he gets like he got a bee sting and his face is really puffy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like it was something they just threw in there. So like, oh yeah, we should do that too.
Yeah.
Like he should have kind of ran with that a little bit.
There was a little bit of everything in the kitchen sinks vibe of a Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, they're just kind of like throwing these ideas out. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as well executed as how they threw everything at the sink in that movie.
Yeah, and we have one guy at their camp named Hugh.
Yes.
Who is like sporty guy, and they're thinking,
super strong, muscly.
Yeah, like Hugh's gonna win this for us because we've lost for the past 69 years.
In fact, Hugh can do it.
Hugh can do it.
They have coffee mugs and t-shirts.
Exactly.
Hugh R. Knuff.
I'm not okay. I have the Knuff hoodie, but I can't add a Hugh to it.
Yeah. No. That is an awesome hoodie, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So yeah, of course, Fred knocks him out. And then they go on to losing the first day of competitions because it was all sporty stuff.
Yes.
And they're losing 0 to 70.
And what was the time span of this?
That was for one day.
Yeah, one day.
And so Fred gives a pep talk about being the worst.
Yes.
And how they're the best at being the worst.
And
then, well, that'll be later. That's during the song. Yeah, this is the part. So now this is the second day of the competition.
Yes. And there's a burping contest first. And Mugo, the nerdy kid.
Magoo wins the burping contest. And then there's the eating contest with spoons, of course.
Yep.
We have Dig winning the arm wrestling contest for some reason. And Chatter wins jousting. And of course, there's a mistake and Fred wins archery.
You're glossing over when they go over the top and Dig wins the arm wrestling contest. What are they all chanting?
Are they just chanting Dig?
They're chanting "Dig your hole."
Dig
over
your hole.
and over again. And supposedly, metaphorically, that is how he summons up the strength to win at arm wrestling.
Did he like turn his hat backwards and like do something special with his hand? No.
No, it was very much like the Galaxy Quest with Narak, Tarak, Narak, Tarak. The chant of strength or whatever. I don't remember the exact quote from Galaxy Quest. It's been too long.
Yeah. Well, thank God we're almost at the end of this movie, Patrick.
We've been recording for 44 minutes.
I know, but it's the time spent watching and talking about this movie just seems like forever.
Worth it.
It's not worth it. So at least this movie does something completely unexpected that has never been done in a movie about people in camp before.
No.
Never once. What did they do, Lyra?
With a talent show.
A talent show.
A talent show.
Never in the history of movies has they ever done a
No.
talent show at a camp before.
No.
So,
Because that never happens.
Day by day.
oh, and then not only did we have the one rap earlier, but now
Yo, I love to rap, rappity rap, oh rap, catch you in a trap, give you a big slap. I've got a map, a cat, a snap, pat, there's no dog in my lap, or is there?
And this was actually the Camp Superior, which everyone thought was going to be good and all, but then they did that.
Yep.
They had to do
That almost makes me want to go back and listen to the Fred rap again.
No. Don't do that. Put us through that.
I could push the button.
No, you.
The button's right there. I could push it.
Lyra, this is what it's like for me every week.
I am so sorry.
Thank you. I'm glad someone else feels my pain.
I have to live with him.
I'm sorry.
I wake up every morning like,
I want a pee-pee on you. I want a pee-pee on you. I want a pee-pee on all of you.
Jesus.
Anywho, so yeah, they get a 7 out of 10 on their rap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, these people had only ever heard Christian evangelical rap before they started judging. So really, it was like opening.
I would rather
their
listen
eyes.
to Carmen than that.
Good news, he's on Spotify now.
Oh, yay.
I made a playlist for the episode tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be so fun.
All right, so where are we at now? So
okay, so
they do have a special judge at the talent show.
Yes. Simon Cowell's the judge, but not that one. Not that Simon Cowell you're thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know why they threw that gag in there.
He's
but
just a random person that looks absolutely nothing like Simon Cowell. And he's actually nice.
Yeah.
7.
Yep. And then Fred gets.
Let's call out the fact that not only are they doing the talent show, they're ending this movie with Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just doing. They're gonna try to plot something to mess up their performance.
Because the nerds always win.
So the two guys from Camp Superior have this elaborate prank set up in case the performance goes well. Fred starts singing, but surprise, surprise, it's not just Fred, it's the whole camp. And you pan out to them playing synthesizers in the crowd. And then everyone comes and does like their respective talent in their song.
This is for the losers, sing it all night long. We're the losers, there's nothing wrong with being losers. This is where we belong, the losers. Look at us, this is for the losers, sing it all night long. We're the losers, there's nothing wrong with being losers. This is where we belong.
This song plays on loop in the elevator to hell.
So it's really weird to think that this was Lin-Manuel Miranda's big break. Lin-Manuel Miranda will find me and can attack me personally for that joke.
Yes, it was not me. Yeah, their prank that they decide to end.
Well, hold on. Let's do one more thing. There's another rap break in the middle of the song. It's Spoon. Spoon sings it.
Oh yeah, I didn't put that one.
Let's highlight a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fred is being played by Lucas. What's his last name?
Sure. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Lucas is 19.
Yeah.
At the time of this, Lucas is roughly I did the math. Lucas is like 4 years younger than me. He just turned 30. So thank God he's left Fred behind. But in this moment, Lucas is 19, playing a teenager who was apparently a 6-year-old at some point, but is not anymore. Everyone else is like an actual child, and so this character is being played by a 16-year-old girl, which means that she had to go back to school having performed this rap on television.
Oh, that's...
Can you imagine being a 16-year-old having to live with this shame?
I never thought about that, but yeah, she did. Poor her.
Which one was that?
Spoon, yeah.
Yes.
She ended up going and doing some acting too, though. I think she was in like that Elemental movie that Pixar just did.
Yeah, and some
She's done
TV
a few
shows and some
things.
stuff. Yeah, I was IMDbing every person as we walked through there, and this is the only joke I kept. But I went through quite a few. I'm like, is there anything to be said about any of these people?
There's really not. I made a list and I was like, there's nobody here to even talk about. It's yeah.
Because even Fred, like Lucas, after Fred loses his popularity, he just has to be a YouTuber because there's nothing else you can do after you've been Fred. Like that's it. That's it for you.
Yeah, you did it a little bit too long there. You should have. But I mean, he cashed out a check and.
I mean, 79 million views on one video is probably gives you a pretty good count. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure he's still got like 3 million subscribers and he hasn't posted anything in 8 years.
Yeah.
So somebody's still watching. And like I said, that was on the Fred channel. On his new YouTube channel, just called Lucas, he's got more recent stuff. Go check that out. It's he seems like a nice enough guy. Like
yeah, he seems perfectly fine. I didn't see anything weird or strange. He seems cool. His brother seems to be on there a lot. They're eating wings right now. Go watch them eat wings.
Yes. Dressed as Hooters girls.
You know, I'm not here to judge.
His mom wanted him in drag or something like that.
Yeah, I know. That was actually a funny video.
Yeah. So yeah, lo and behold, the sabotage backfires. Shocking. The losers end up winning the final competition. Shocking. And they won for the first time in 70 years. So
because
that's
it was
pretty
prophesied.
much it.
You forgot it was prophesied that Fred would come and do this.
Yes, from who? It wasn't Tom Arnold's dad or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as he's leaving with his mom, he's like, and I beat up a counselor with a log. And she's like, that's not okay. And he's like, well, it happened. And then it fades to black.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that everyone's parents came to pick them up when they all took the bus there.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Why wouldn't they have them
bus them back?
Yeah, because then you wouldn't have the gag with the mom and the pizza guy.
Oh yeah.
But she'll never have to pay for pizza again.
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing. But and that was the movie. That was Fred 3, not our finest moments.
But maybe not our worst.
I didn't think people could pick worse movies than me, but I think you might have done it.
Yeah.
And I really had nothing else to talk about too much about behind the scenes stuff, except for the director who was actually in this movie as the monkey butler.
Oh, he was the monkey butler at the end. Oh.
Okay. Was the director's name Bobo? What are we doing here?
No, he was in a suit, Patrick.
Jonathan.
If you blinked, you would have missed that part, but it's okay.
No, I saw it. I can't believe that's the person that directed this movie. I cannot believe that you, the director, would be like, yeah, let me voice the monkey screeching and hollering in a suit. What else is? Oh, he directs for Young Sheldon. Okay, that explains everything.
He directs a bunch of kids programs.
Yes.
You probably wouldn't know, but Lyra might.
Yes, I know all of these.
The Thundermans, the Haunted Hathaways, Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Don.
Yeah.
There was a Punky Brewster reboot?
Yeah, where Punky Brewster was like the mom or something.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. You might be interested in the Haunted Hathaways. It's a show that takes place in New Orleans where like nobody has an accent like they're from New Orleans.
That's like cool. Every Louisiana show ever. They're always like they're always like British people will show up and like it's wild.
And it's
keep this PG.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did. I apologize.
But yeah, and that was it. The director Jonathan Judge just did a few of those things, and that was about all I got for this fine program we did here.
Well, Lyra, is there anything else you want to say before we ask a question?
His voice sucks.
That's a good point. It is. I actually think that's the biggest point we have in the whole show.
Yeah.
All right, so now we are going to play a little game.
In a way, I brought you here to offer you a job. You think you can do it better, so here's your chance.
That is the voice of God saying, do you think you can do it better? Here's your chance. So, Patrick, I guess we'll start with you. Name 3 things and only 3 things, but it has to be at least 3 things that you'd change to make this movie watchable.
Well, the first thing is we have to not pitch up Fred's voice. because 90 minutes of that will make your ears bleed.
What if you watch all three back to back to back?
Well, here's the thing. This is true. This is a true thing about children, and then as you age, how it weighs off. Because when I was a kid, I watched a lot of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If I hear his voice today, every hair on my body stands on end because it is like nails on a chalkboard. So there's an ability to listen to higher pitched sounds that decreases as you age. And this is very much a thing with Fred, I think. So I can see why he had like a lot of like young followers, just because they're like, oh, he's loud. Loud equals funny when you're at a certain age, right?
What age do you think that these movies were aiming for, though?
I don't know what age they were aiming for. I can tell you, I'm pretty sure the age that was watching them was probably like 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Aiming for?
Yeah, like
what? Probably aiming for whatever demographic iCarly is supposed to be aiming for.
I think iCarly's like, it's around the PG age, so probably 7 to 10.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, so that's probably like that. But I think Fred skews a little younger.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's that. Second thing I'd change. I'd give this movie a plot. It has no plot.
Plot would be good.
It's 2 television episodes. It's like you know what it is? It's a summer TV special where they have two or 3 episodes that take place at the same time, and they air it every year at summer. They're just 2 episodes stapled together by about 10 to 20 minutes of nothing, and that's what we have. But like if we had like an overarching plot, so like let's either commit, either Fred is all in on the camp and it's all about beating Camp Superior, or Fred thinks something spookier is going on for way longer. One of those two, but there needs to be a plot for 90 minutes if we're going to have an actual movie and not 2 episodes stapled together.
Yeah, and I don't know if the spooky angle would have worked as well because they did the exact same thing in Fred 2 with the teacher being a vampire. So it's
maybe just commit entirely to the Lake Superior rivalry.
Yeah, just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do some pranks? Have them come over and do stuff. I don't know. They just keep doing these camp movies that are just everything is the same thing, except for this one. It's just got a high pitched kid.
Not even kid.
No,
over 18s and adults. Surprising.
So what was it? What was the third thing you got?
There's got to be a third thing. The third thing I'd actually like to do is just change the channel, but within the confines of your game, I don't know. End it with a giant mech battle.
A giant mech battle. I mean, it's plausible, I guess. Is anything else?
It doesn't have to be plausible, but it's more entertaining.
It is.
They connect. They build the mechs all Kids Next Door style with like out of wood and whatever's around.
That would be cool. And then you just burn down Camp Superior completely instead of like singing a rap song.
Listen to the screams of the rich kids as they perish in the fire. Roll credits.
So, Lyra, do you have anything that you would change about this movie?
Oh, there's so many things.
Oh, please let us know.
So the first thing would probably definitely be his voice. And the funny part is in the beginning when he's like having these fake dreams, he actually acknowledges that he has a funny voice, because when he wakes up, he said, and I actually had a normal voice, or something like, and then I didn't have a high-pitched voice. So he actually acknowledges his voice, which is funny because change it.
Because the voice sucked. Yeah. Well, that's the character. I mean, that's the thing is the character is not the character without the voice. So it's like,
Yeah. The main thing that makes Fred is his voice and the backwards R, which bugs me so much. So probably I'd change the backwards R.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was also thinking the backwards R was because he was supposed to be as a younger age. So they were making him trying to seem childish by writing wrong.
That could be, yeah.
That makes sense.
And then for the third thing,
see, the third thing's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's not just me. 3 things is too much, Justin. We need to drop it down to 2.
No. Sometimes it's you need like 18 things.
6.
Yeah, see, it's hard to narrow it down when there's so many things you want to change.
And then probably, I think the whole like pill, crocabaramoose, rat hole thing, like the rat hole with the pills, that whole kind of like mystery who
Mhm.
did it kind of thing.
You like that part, or you want to get rid of that part?
No, I want to get rid of that part
Okay.
because I feel like it's just way too confusing with everything else they're doing. They're just adding too much, and they just need to stop somewhere.
Do you think that there should be more rap songs in this?
No, I think they have like 5 too many.
I think I could play both at the same time.
No.
My
What happens if I
name
do?
is Fred, I'm sick in the
Yo,
head.
yo,
Mess
I
with
love
me
to
and you
rap,
gotta
rappity rap.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
If only you had chatter rapping.
God, that was bad.
I immediately, when you said it, I just took my headphones off before you pushed the button.
It's all right. You still got to edit it later.
Yeah. See, Lyra, the thing that happens after this is for each episode, I spend at least 3 hours listening to us talk and then making it sound better.
That's exactly what my dad told me.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to hear the sound of my own voice. I was like, imagine Patrick. He's got to sit there and listen to this thing for hours.
Well, Lyra, that's exactly what I said after the first week. I'm like, I should have picked a hobby where I don't have to listen to the sound of my own voice.
Yes. Sometimes it's just annoying.
You learn to like ignore it after a while, but it's like it was a good like 6. Although a lot of times I'll be listening and I'll be like, Patrick, why did you say that? Just shut up.
Yes.
Just delete a whole segment of things.
Oh boy. All right. Well, you know what? I think we covered all our bases with Fred 3.
Well, what about 3 things you would change?
Oh, I don't do that game. Well, the person that picks the movie doesn't have to do that game.
Inquiring minds want to know, Dustin. What would you change?
What would I change? I would have them, if they are going to be dropped off in a bus, they will be taken home in a bus.
Okay.
I would have had more than one outhouse at the camp, because that's just I can't believe that they would only have one bathroom in the entire
Bizarre.
camp.
And it's breaking down.
So that would be I'm just going to go for a completely realistic changes here.
Not any battles.
Yeah. And that
I want to appeal to the naturalist film movement with your Fred 3 remake.
Yeah, and this is now going to be a drama searching for the last crocodile moose before it goes extinct.
Found footage?
Found footage.
Okay.
Ooh, and then they get eaten.
Yes, perfect. This is
Grizzly
a
Man.
masterpiece.
We'll go Werner Herzog on it. Let's go.
Can you imagine a movie in which you hear Werner Herzog's voice and Fred's voice back to back?
No.
The crocodile moose.
Madness reigns. You hear Fred talk, it goes, madness reigns. The
Yes.
sound of the screeching child's voice will burrow into your cerebellum like an ice pick. I prayed for a lobotomy, and at that moment, staring at my butter knife, wondered if I could.
Today is my favorite day. It's the best in every way. So much
And then just follow it up with that. That'll be
It's not as good as my Gary Busey impression. But, give me a minute, I'll work on it. We'll have him for the next beer commercial.
Yes, there we go. All right. Well, do you have anything else for us here, Patrick?
I just want to say thanks, Lyra, for coming on and making this terrible movie more bearable. You can come back anytime you want.
I'll let her do the outro here. Let's see what you got.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode of Found on Shelf. If you enjoyed this podcast, please remember to like, subscribe, and rate and share. Check out some foundonshelfpod.com, where you can leave us a voicemail and send some feedback direct to us. For all your social media needs, we are Found on Shelf Pod on everything, or just send us an email at foundonshelfpod@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about this show and offer any suggestions of any movies you'd like to check out in the future. You have any final words for us, Patrick?
Yeah, don't watch Fred at all costs. Stay away from Fred. It will hurt you. Just don't watch Fred. If you're thinking about watching Fred, find literally anything else to watch. Dear Zachary, anything.
Oh, God. I don't know about that. Oh boy. All right. Oh, what's that?
And also, if you do need to offer any suggestions, they can't be about what movie you guys choose. Because they're obviously going to be horrible, so you can't change that.
You can try to suggest good ones. We may not cover them, but you can suggest them.
Delete email.
All right, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Fred Figglehorn. I'm just going to apologize in advance for what I'm about to do.
This is absolute torture.
This is ridiculous.
Hey, I have a question.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
Didn't we run psyops on people at one point? Didn't the U.S. military play the Spice Girls nonstop as a psyop on a group in like South America at some point?
Something like that. They should just play Fred screaming.
Yeah,
I think that would.
That might be banned by the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, that's just
torture.
It's just inhumanly torture there.